Blog Talk Radio.
The motherfucking saga continues.
Yo, what's up, world? It's badass thuggin' like I usually do, and you better turn it up, bust some speakers out, cause we off the motherfucking cuff. You dig how we do it? Dogtown Gangsters 2000 and beyond. Bleh.
What's up with it, y'all? Man, don't change that dial. This your player partner, the legendary Cocaine. And you tuned in live to Off the Cuff Radio. Better not touch that dial.
Yeah, this is Cassidy, the hustler. And right now, you listening to the Guillotine. Show them the respect they deserve, man. Off the Cut Radio, man. Y'all already know how they doing it, man. I need y'all to stay tuned. They've been doing it for years, so show them the respect they deserve. And you heard it out of bars, mouth. Easy.
Keep it moving like this. Yo, this your boy Rampage. You're not rocking with the best. With Off the Cuff Radio. Classic. History. Fix your face to all you haters. We off the cuff, baby.
What's up, everybody? This your girl, Bonnie Dollars, the Queen of Trap, representing Crenshaw, and you are now tuned in with Off the Cuff Radio. What's up? What's up, y'all? This is Miss Irresistible, giving a shout out to the live show on Friday nights, Off the Cuff Radio, and I'm live from the 704.
I kick street tails, packaging pretty paper for retail. Unwrap and sniff the devil's dandruff in the details. Your jaw stuck because the size of these rails got you looking ugly as shit. This how I keep sales. Coming like your bitch on my dick. She dripping 3 pails and all I did was give her the tip. My tongue is read braille, but that's not what I came here to spit. You see the heat trail, my pen leave when writing the script. With special cameras, it's the same when the hammer go click. I'm well equipped to go to war with any ad that you pick. It's many roads, they all lead to a bottomless pit. And it's many souls to keep you company forever, so you never feel alone. Make a move. I'm like a 38 special, nothing to lose. When I'm popping off, I discard the shells when I choose. You busting blanks. When I storm, the rain that ensues will make the weather channels front page like this is the news. A pen in the hands, a 6-shooter in the palm. Yo, a pencil is a pistol to a man that writes songs. Yo, it's cool when we engage in a duel, stay calm. Yo, my bars is like bullets from a 38 long. Yeah, yo, pistol packing, yeah, but a dragon-born assassin, torn between being a member of society or absence. I'm so reclusive, sleep eludes me, cause my passion to keep going prevents me from sleeping any fashion. I'm woke, like an open blade, ready to poke. The only thing I'm super liberal with is all this smoke, it's no joke. I'm a registered independent that votes for the right to bear arms, so I can keep the hammer close, moving on. I'm a marksman when it comes to shooting spit upon beats. Even if we get along, we gon' compete to see who get closest to the bullseye. We trying to reach, stay sharp. Keep your barrel clear of any foreign parts and keep practicing your form as if this was a martial arts gun kata. Memorize the moves of a young shotter and apply them to calligraphy patterns of art hotter than spent shell casings and burnt rubbers at the Ramada. A pen in the hands, a 6-shooter in the palm. Yo, a pencil is a pistol to a man that writes songs. Yo, it's cool when we engage in a duel, stay calm. Yo, my bars is like bullets from a 38 long.
Yeah. What's the deal? You heard to me? Hold on 1 second. Make sure this audio is right. Yeah. What's the deal, y'all? This your man King Eric, the media assassin. Hold on, let me get. All right, we good. All right, man. We here at episode 677, live and direct of Off the Cuff Radio. My host T Max with the facts will be joining me shortly. But in the meantime, this show is sponsored by Buddy Boy Entertainment, Screwball Radio. You can catch us every Saturday night with me, Comet 5000. We giving y'all the best in hip hop. And tonight's guest, man, we got a real dope MC, DJ, producer, you name it, man, representing the Low Life branch out of Miami, Florida. He's coming in talking about his new project, and we played a single of that just now. So what's all welcome DJ Exes to episode 677 of Off the Cuff Radio, man. How you doing out there, my man?
Yo, peace. Episode 677. Good,
Yeah,
everything
man.
good, man. Bro, I'm good with the camera like this, or it need to be vertical. I'm good like this.
Oh, that's good.
Or do I? I bet.
Hold on, we make sure we get got my man T Max in the line. What's good?
What's going on, y'all? Had a little technical difficulty, but I'm here. Hi, y'all. What's going on?
Good, we good.
Yeah, man. So, another fantastic Friday. We got the frequency ready to rock, and we ready to do it, man. Look, this is an honor to have you with us. Tell everybody a little bit about yourself. What's been going on with you?
Man, it's an honor to be here, man. I appreciate you guys taking the time out and having me on the show. Slamming Gavel, the producer, he couldn't make it, a little bit caught up. He might jump in a little bit later on.
Okay,
But
no problem.
I'm gonna hold it down for the both of us. I go by the name of DJ Exes, DJ/MC. Slamming Gavel, that's the producer. You know what I'm saying? I'm the one that did all the rhymes on this joint, little solo joint that we put out. You know what I mean? But
Absolutely.
yeah, man, over here in Miami, holding it down. Miami family, low life president for Miami. Thurston How the Thurs DJ.
The Puerto
One half of La
Rican.
Plancha, 100%. One half of La Plancha, you know what I'm saying, holding it down for Miami underground, real underground hip hop. 1/4 of the Four Horsemen, the Belly Boys.
Rimbeats Productions.
Man, look. Look, you being part of the Low Life's crew is legendary in itself. Shout to Thurston Howell. We had him on the show a couple of years ago on Off the Cuff.
Solid guy.
And, yeah, man. And Screwball Radio. And for those that are really, really deep in the reading crates of journalism with a source, if you can find them from the early 2000s, a source did a 4-issue run detailing the whole history of the Low Lights. Racklow, Foxlow, Thurston, everybody. The story is crazy, man. Obviously being based out of Miami, shout out to the 305. There's a heavy hip hop history down there, of course, past to present. Let's get it. Tell everybody about yourself, how you started in it.
Oh, what, started in hip hop or started with the low life movement?
We'll start both. From your inception to where you are now.
All right, man. I started DJing in 1992. I was here in Miami, and Hurricane Andrew had hit. So I went back up to New Jersey, and then in New Jersey, Mom Dukes helped me get my first pair of turntables. And then from there, I took off. I was just DJing, you know what I'm saying, doing whatever I could, getting my chops in, starting to get right. A little bit later on, I started writing a little bit, but I kept that on the low till I, kind of perfected it because I'm my biggest critic. Then I got here to Miami again. And then basically I came down here and I went to Full Sail for a little bit. Then I went back to New Jersey. Then I came back to Miami. And then when I was back here in Miami, that's when I met Thirst, just putting in work with Thirst. And then I got down with the whole low life. He gave me my L's down here in Miami, and then just been building with him ever since. Everything started out for work. You know what I'm saying? Just like bartering work for work. You know what I'm saying? He asked me to do a mixtape. I did it. You know what I'm saying? And same thing. He reciprocated. You know what I'm saying? With videos, working with Box Low, Miami Low Life founder. You know what I'm saying? He was the president. Now he's the founder. and got down with him, shot a bunch of videos with him, and the rest, as they say, is history.
Man, I mean, it's we've
Yeah, you gotta
doing
let
this.
people know how impactful that movement really was coming up, man, with the low lives.
Man, that's a big movement, man. I'm gonna say like this, man. I salute the founders. You know what I'm saying? The low life, the OG low lives. I salute them profusely. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of people like it's got like a lot of negative connotation, but without that, you couldn't have this where we at now. You know what I'm saying? And we've come such a long way. Like over here in Miami, we're a nonprofit organization. You know what I'm saying? And so we give back to the community, help people out when we can. We do toy drives, back to school drives, there's other low lifes and other because the low life movement grew from Brooklyn and it took hold around the world. So it's international. So we got low life brothers in Japan, Mexico, Colombia, nationally in the United States, in Georgia, uh, PA, Philly, you know what I'm saying? California, Colorado, uh, all over the place. But right now, like I said, we're trying to move in a global fashion, right? We're trying to do positive things, give back to the community, while maintaining the fly shit, by still being. I'm sorry, am I allowed to curse on here? Is that cool or
Yeah,
no?
you are. You are. So it's all good. It's all good.
Yo, I can't hear y'all.
No, it's all good. You can. You can. Not a problem. We don't look. We don't restrict. We don't
Yo,
block. We don't do nothing here. Can you hear us?
yo, I can't hear y'all. I don't know if I lost y'all. Can y'all hear me?
We can hear you. Can you hear us?
Hold on.
Yo,
You?
can you guys hear
All
me?
right. We can hear you. We can hear you. Can you hear us? Coming through. Coming through. Can you hear us? Testing. Testing. Can you hear us?
Yo, I
Yeah, we're
can't hear
gonna
you
have a
guys.
yeah, try to come back. We're gonna try to bring you back on.
Can you hear us?
I don't know if you
Testing.
guys are having
Testing.
technical difficulties.
Yeah, we're gonna
Can't
ask
hear
some
y'all.
we're gonna bring them back on.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that's a little bit of the technical difficulties that we have going on. So hopefully we're gonna bring them back on and we're gonna
Okay.
start
Okay.
chopping it up, man, because we got a lot of history to unravel.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
'Cause this what happens, this what comes with the program sometime. Okay, we about to bring them back.
There
All
I
right.
am.
All right.
I'm back. I'm back. I'm back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right. We hear
we
you.
back.
We hear you.
No
Yeah.
doubt. No doubt.
Definitely. So yeah, like we were about to say before we got cut off, man. Look, let it flow, let it go, do whatever you gotta say. We don't block, mute, restrict nothing. Let it come
Bet.
as it comes. And shout to Spirit
Couple.
Wonder. Shout to Spirit Wonder, always a dedicated fan, and we appreciate you tuning in as always. When you think about it, X's, when you look at that movement from where the low life started, did you all understand the significance of not only music but fashion, how you would impact a whole world in terms of the two L's up movement?
Well, I can only speak for myself, right? Because you got to remember, I'm over here on the Miami side of things. You know what I'm saying? The
Right,
OGs, when they set it off, obviously it was all about being fly at the beginning. You know what I'm saying?
right,
I don't think that they had an idea on the impact that they were gonna have. The impact that they were trying to get locally is just be fly, be some, get on some fly shit. Who's the flyest? You know what I'm saying? Then when they,
right,
when they linked up, the USA and the Rockies kids, when they linked up and it became what it became, it took off. It just influenced so many people. I mean, look, think about it like this. That started in Brooklyn, right? And
mm-hmm,
just the way that pushed out from there to the world is crazy. I mean, look, it influenced so many facets of hip hop because on some hip hop shit, if you think back in the day on some old school shit, you had Dapper Dan used to make suits for everybody, right? On
yeah,
some like refashioning shit. And then you got motherfuckers, with the polo, but not only polo, they wasn't only just stealing polo, they was also stealing Tommy. You know what I'm saying? They was taking everything and anything and making it fly. You know what I'm saying? And popping up and just flamming on people. These guys, I don't know if you guys are familiar with like the Iraq does this thing, the low goose on the deuce. if you see the videos of that, the way these guys peel off layers of polo with the coats and everything underneath is crazy. Like I honestly can't even touch that. All I could do if I was to go to a place like to that event is just be a spectator. I got to give it up for them 100%. You know what I'm saying? And again, appreciate what they did there and how it impacted hip hop as a whole. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to remember that started in like 80, back in the 80s. You know what I'm saying? I was born like 76. You know what I'm saying? So I was mad young when these dudes was getting busy. So I grew up, getting that influence secondhand. So I was a fan of Thurston Howard III, the MC, before I even met him. Down here, my man Jay Bishop, right? Him and Jokes, these are guys I went to high school with, and they were shooting film. And he hit me up and was like, "Yo, you want to be an extra? We're shooting a video for Thurston Howard III." Me being a fan of the Polo Rican, I'm like, hell yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I jumped in, and it just happened that the rest is history from there. By the time I met Thirst, I was already a low head, but not to the level of, you know what I'm saying, like the low life, you know what I'm saying, like the OGs. So it's like with Thirst, I'm doing like this time, like earlier on in my journey, right? I'm popping up and he looking at what everybody wearing, like, nah, that's not it. Nah, that's not it. You're like, damn, son. So I had to learn secondhand, you know what I'm saying? How to throw it together to be a character, really, is, at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? A representation. And this is what we push on everybody. I got a line that I say, just know when you see me in that polo fashion, that image that you see is the American dream happening. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's how I run with it.
Yeah,
Man.
y'all. Yeah, and the way they were moving and shaking out there, man. It's just like you said. We looked at them like, so these are the flies ever walking. Forget Superfly, man. These niggas
right.
flyers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and they became heroes, like hometown heroes. You know what I'm saying? Like even on a hip hop level, you can look at a group like Jiggy, right? You remember Jiggy?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Ziggy, toss it up. Yeah, toss it up.
Uptown bounce, do the uptown bounce. Prance Low in there. You see them all fly, and like most of the hip hop videos back in the day, all the dope dudes was wearing the polo. Everybody. You know what I'm saying? That spread like wildfire everywhere. You had to get low down if you wanted to be fresh. You know what I'm saying?
Man, look, we knew about it. We were young coming up in the game, but Ralph Lauren, shout to him, has always been a staple in high fashion, especially as hip hop progressed and evolved into the aesthetics of swag. That's where you had it. I mean, if there is any, I say, King and Exes, if there is any one particular fashion piece that I think really defined it and was the watershed moment, y'all know where I'm going with this. Can it be that it was all so simple then?
The Snow Beach with the Snow Beach.
We saw Raekwon rocking that and we were like, whoa.
Lost our minds. We lost our minds, yo. You know what's funny is that there's been so many knockoffs since that video came out. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like my man, I'm not gonna say my man's name, but one of my mans, right? I was up in Jersey like 2-3 weeks ago. And then for a show, as a matter of fact, with Thurston, we had a show in Park Slope. We was opening up for 38 Special. The show was crazy. We shut it down. But one of my mans I went to go see, he was like, yo, I had copped a bootleg Snow Beach once. I was like, nah. He was like, I don't want to show it to you. I'm like, yo, pull it out. Let me see that shit. It was the worst shit ever. But still, it's just like, yo, I can't believe people was really going at it like this.
When we come up in the era, Exes, of the fashion, when we look at just not only polo, when we think about all the fashions, Nike and Adidas were always a staple. Of course, when we look at the black brands that would come in later, Kalkanai, Cross Colors, we would have a Nietzsche later. I mean, when we think about what it was in the music, you had to look the part, and I think that was the beauty of it. The dress was a way of aspiration and speaking it to existence about where you wanted to go. And as, of course, it progressed, we get into the 90s, we see Biggie, rocking the Versace, Jay with the platinum Rolex. I mean, so we see literally in real time how it progresses.
You gotta look the part.
100%.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So it's funny. We have a conversation here. I was on this show called the Grumpy OGs. Right. Big up to
Mm-hmm.
them. Big up to Heckler, Eddie Giggs. And they one of the questions that they ask you is, what's the five elements of hip hop, right? Because it's four, but they ask you what the fifth one is. And I said,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of people actually been on the show, what I'm saying, and they believe the same that the fifth element is fashion, because you gotta
Mm-hmm.
be fly. You know what I'm saying? When you
Right.
gonna, it doesn't matter how dope you are. If you look like shit, nobody's gonna pay attention. So you
Right.
got you still gotta look the part when you pop up. You know what I'm saying? When you show out, you gotta wear
Mm-hmm.
that uniform.
Yeah. And it I think when we look at the diversity of fashion, and where it's gone from where it was to where it is today, it's changed so much. I preface this by saying that on Off the Cuff Radio, we are not here to denigrate or disrespect any gender or any community. You know, uh, you know, but when we see how it's changed, and I don't think we were walking around with purses and all that back then.
Nah, we left that for the women.
Yeah. Look,
You
no
know,
no disrespect to anybody, right? Like how you said. But yeah, I can't do that. Like I can't. I mean, look, no disrespect to anybody that's you. But a purse is a purse. You know what I'm saying?
right
Like I'm old
now.
school. I still keep a wallet.
Yeah. Look,
Me
look,
too.
look. When we think about it, X's, where do you, we hip hop has always been known as being universal in its influence and its scope. Uh, when we look at how the streets used to dictate what the styles were, where do you think it changed in terms of how what's been considered high fashion and style? Where do you think it all changed at, and who do you think may have started to influence that?
Oh man, I that's a great question, and I think the influence started as early as Dapper Dan, right? Where he was
Mm-hmm.
taking these things and deconstructing them and turning it into something else, and then people in the what I'm saying in those neighborhoods, they wanted those items, not particularly necessarily what they was being sold in the stores, but what they could get that was repurposed and turned it into some fly shit, right? So it's like
Right.
that I would say that's number one. But then as you keep going, as you progress, again the polo, right? So you have people with the Ralph Lauren, the Tommy Hill figure. Grand Pooba was real fly. He would wear the jabots and all that. So
Yeah.
style always been very important. Now and then you go further, go back to what you were saying with the Biggie and everything with the Versace. You know what I'm saying? So now we're lucky enough to live through an era where hip hop turned 50, right? What was it last year that it turned 50?
Couple
Am
years
I
ago.
correct?
Yeah. 53 years old.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So think about it like this. We've seen hip hop go from something that was done in neighborhoods to something that's being done worldwide. Not only that, but the way even the clubs like
Mm-hmm.
Fab Five Freddy used to hang with Blondie back in the day, got
Yeah.
Blondie, you know what I'm saying, or with the DJs. So you have these cultures all clashing, and then people growing within the culture. Then you have these shows that started accepting the culture, you know what I'm saying, into their shows, into the award shows, and then getting female rappers, you know what I'm saying, like Little Kim earlier on, you know what I'm saying, being dressed, by like Tom Ford or whatever, and all these other designers I don't even know, but this is how it kept going. And now and then you take that and you keep going to where we at now with the kids. Like this is what's fly to the kids. And again, I would never doubt. I can't down them. Right? They dress how they
Right.
dress. To them, that's fly. But even that, right? Like it all comes. These are all brands of clothing, and they're picking it and they're making it dope. And then people are seeing them, they're mimicking that style, and then they taking it. It's just an evolution. We just keep going on, but especially with
Yeah.
fashion.
Yeah, man. I mean, when we look at it's funny because when we were growing up, uh, we like I said, we gotta shout out some of the originators, man. We gotta shout out Carl Canal. We gotta shout out April Walker
Mm,
from Walker Wear.
Big up
Five
April
thousand.
Walker.
Man, look, 5,001 5,001 flavors.
Mm-hmm.
If you really take it back, and we
Cross
gonna take on
colors.
man, look, we gonna take everybody exactly cross it. We're gonna take it on a little time travel for the youngins out there to really understand it. You know, when you had the 8-ball jackets, when you had the starter jackets, when you had the Pelly Pellies.
Yep.
I mean,
I had an 8-ball.
Averex,
I had an
man,
8-ball.
look.
The AVs. Yo, I still got an Averex vest upstairs that I don't want to get rid of. A sweater vest, a dope ass Averex sweater vest. I'm like, this might come back one day. I don't want to get rid of this yet.
But
I don't
that's
know when
vintage
gonna be.
fashion. But that's vintage
100.
fashion, though, man. I tell
Yeah.
anybody, if you go on eBay right now and look at how much some of that stuff costs from 25, 30 years ago, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
When
South Pole don't get no love.
Crazy.
Hey,
Who's that?
Hey, South
I said
Pole
the
don't get no
prices is
love.
crazy.
Oh, South Pole, absolutely. South Pole, absolutely. Yeah, man. I mean, look, first down. I mean, it's, you know, FUBU, you know, in the 90s
Iceberg.
was making it. Yeah, man, Iceberg.
Dang, Iceberg. Yeah.
And, you know, Iceberg was one of those brands back in the day that, when we think about it, y'all, that's when we kind of saw where Cash Money, you know, shout to them when they started the bling era with the jewelry. Well, really in abundance in terms of the modern day. When you really started seeing, you know, heads getting money, the fashions changed, obviously. That's when we saw more Gucci, Louis Vuitton. It was in spurts, but it wasn't abundant. But those who could afford it, you know, an Iceberg was like kind of like the entry level for it. I mean,
you know what's crazy? You know what's crazy too, like about brands like Gucci and Louis, is that they actually saw what the streets was doing and they copied it with their own items. They started, reconditioning some of their old stuff to make it look like that. You know what I'm saying? They got that style from the streets. They was like, oh, this is popping out there. And they had people, they hired people, they made it look like what it did. You know what I'm saying? There's a dude on Netflix. I forgot what his name is. But he had a show where like he's kind of like a collector of things. And he had bought a suitcase, a Louis Vuitton suitcase. It wasn't a suitcase, it was like a, what do you call those? It was like a big crate, you know what I'm saying?
Travel bag, chest,
it looks kind of like a treasure chest. You know what I'm talking about? Like the big one with got the key on it.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. Go ahead.
Yeah, it was a big one like that. And he was saying that the thing with like Louis and Gucci is that some of the fabrics that were used to make some of these items is crazy because some of these bootleg items go for as much as the originals.
Yeah. And
Spirit Wonder said, he said, give me your vintage fashion if you think it's outdated. I still got my 2005 South Pole jacket.
That's what's up. Hey, that's what's up, man. And it's vintage now. That's right. That's what it's become vintage. You know what I'm saying?
Man, when we think about the material on it, you know,
these dudes today, they can't dress at all, man.
And look, I mean, one thing that is beautiful about being able to do this show is we're able to reminisce on the past, discuss it in real time, and give anecdotals and our opinions on where it is today. When we look at it like the Chrome Heart jeans, those are supposed to be the thing now. Those things go for like what, $25,000?
That's crazy.
And
that's a whole
you know,
break.
though, and I look at it and it's like, I guess being 48, you know, and kind of living through it. And I mean, my thing is, I'm not chasing my youth. You know, I'm stuck in a certain nostalgia fashion. I'm okay with the young kids having what they have, but I still can't think about it. $25,000 for a pair of jeans? For real?
Yeah, that's crazy. But you know what though? Like on another level, right? It's like, it's never hate, right? Like it's never, we can just give our opinion. And that's the good thing about being this
Absolutely.
age and growing up in hip hop. Like our parents didn't know nothing about hip hop. They couldn't have a conversation with us. You know, our kids, we raised our kids in hip hop. So we can have valid conversations. I can make valid points about hip hop, even outside of the fashion, outside of everything. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, yo, just from a standpoint, making objective criticisms, even though it's art, right? And art is real subjective, but you could give objective criticisms based on lifestyle, you know what I'm saying? Like the way people are moving, you know what I'm saying? The kind of product that they putting out, you know what I'm saying? And just having I don't want to say a pulse on the culture, but if you active and you about it, you see it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Opinions. The one thing about opinions is that they're varied and they're diverse. But I tell people, whatever your side of it is, you cannot have a valid one if you have not lived through the experiences and have the education necessary to have the requisite knowledge to state why your opinion is where it is. And that is the most important thing.
Yeah, because that's another problem. That's another problem today, man, is that you got people that ain't verified or ain't haven't really went through those experiences. They get a voice to chime in on things like they experienced it. You know what I mean? And they word become the law.
You know, I look at it like this, right? I say like this: everybody's right and everybody's wrong, because it's all a matter of perception, right? Like that one kid with the argument that was going on, where he was like saying that to him, Jim Jones is better than Nas. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's fine. That's fine. That's his opinion. In his mind, he's correct, right? It doesn't really, in his worldview and his peer circle, it don't matter what nobody say. So in that instance, he's right, but he's also wrong because everybody else is like, nah, right? But again, it's art, so it's subjective at the end of the day, right? It's all a matter of how you see it. Perspective is everything.
Now, and you're absolutely right, Exes. But I think this is also where we get a little passionate about it, because we heard main sources breaking Adams' album released in 1990. We heard Nas flame it on Live at the Barbecue.
Yeah.
So we know what it, and then when Nas dropped Halftime off the Zebrahead soundtrack in 1992. Now this is before he dropped Illmatic in 1994 with It Ain't Hard to Tell being the first official single that was dropped for it. We heard Illmatic and we were like, this nigga's something else that we have never heard before, and we hope to hear more. And we've been blessed with over 30 years. So
it was a great movie.
Yes, it was. Shout out to Michael Rappaport and the Big right. Yes.
100%.
Yeah, I don't think what it is people giving their opinion. I'm thinking we live at a time where people just we live in hot take culture, where people were like, okay, we can just say the most outlandish thing, even though we don't mean it, and we're just gonna go viral with it.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna add to what you're saying by saying that also on top of that, people also live in echo chambers, right? So it's like they take a stance, right, on a platform, right, like Instagram, Facebook, whatever, any social media. They take a stance, but then when people try to refute or debate that stance, they don't want to hear it, and so they just cut them off, and so it becomes where these people are now living in a place where it's only people that agree them. Now you're getting yes man to death. So it's like, how is there any kind of growth if we can't reason as men, though? You understand what I'm saying? And I feel like that's missing, to your point, especially with the hot take culture, because everything turned into a matter of opinion. Hey, oh, you don't agree with me? Peace. Oh, you don't agree with me? Peace. And then it's like, we not.
King, we got him, or we lost him?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, he's still here.
Okay.
I think we got froze up a little bit.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Can you hear us? Okay, can you hear us, Exes? Yeah. Now, what you were saying, to go off of that as well, you're absolutely right. Because one thing about it is coming up, and this is even more of a serious situation in hip hop culture at large, because we came up in a time in real time where we understood what it meant. We understood the elements, and we had respect for those who were doing it. And also too, there were not things that were just thrown around errantly without fact checking behind it. I'm gonna insert this note because we were talking about fashion, so we can put this shit to bed forever and ever. Tommy Hilfiger did not say black people cannot wear his stuff. He never said that. We need to stop. That's part of that, something we need to dead on the show right now, because this is something that was going around for years and years. And Ralph Lauren. Ralph Lauren.
Go ahead. I'll go a step further with that. And because I had a similar conversation with Thurston mad long ago.
Right.
And he even confirmed that Tommy was actually one of the first people to give his clothes to rappers so that they could rock it in videos. You know what I'm saying? So he was out there putting in that work like that as well. So it's impossible to say that he never meant for the urban culture to wear his shit when he out there giving it to motherfuckers. It just don't make no sense.
I mean, they even tried to say at one time that Ralph was, this is something that I know I don't want to say shoehorned it in, but we wanted to give this as an anecdotal because of where this is at, and it kind of segues and transitions into what we were speaking on about how people in a vacuum, what King said is hot take culture, what you said in the echo chamber, how this all collides, because what you have are people who are taking false facts and trying to broadcast this as if they're authority figures in an academia of which they are woefully deficient and outright dumb.
Ooh, I like how you said that. Woefully deficient. I might have to use that in a bar. That shit was hard, bro.
Man, look,
that's real though. That's real.
And see, this is a type of situation. And look, we're streaming live. Anybody listening, please chime in on the chat.
Chime in, man.
When we hear stuff, look, one thing about it is you can have your opinion, but the reality is you have to look at what is impactful. When a dude comes out and says Jim Jones is better than Nas, okay, we understand this from a present place of where their introduction to hip hop is. But by the same token, if you're going to summarily dismiss one of the 10 greatest MCs of all time and say that Jim Jones is better than him, all I'm going to say is listen to Nas's first 3 albums and listen to Jim Jones' first 2.
Yeah.
And then you make the
But
comparison.
People gonna double, but see, we live at a time too where people are so arrogant and don't want to admit fault to nothing. They'll double down on it.
Yes, sir. That's a fact. But also, here's another one too, right? Who's that young man's dad? Where's that young man's dad at? I want to meet him. Like, yo, you didn't put your son on? You ain't talk to him? Not only that, all right, let's say his dad's not around. Where's your older
Where's his
homies?
mom?
Where your mom's at? With somebody. Nobody told you to be like, you know what I'm saying? Nobody put you on, like, because especially you and the young man lived in New York. Like, nobody put you on to be like, yo, check this out. Do the knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't just like, you know what's that saying go? You measure twice, cup once. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to think about what you say before you say it. You know what I'm saying? Again, no disrespect to Jim Jones. You know what I'm saying? Big ups to him and everybody that rocks with him and shit. But come on, son. You're going to have a conversation, especially if you're going to have a conversation like, I mean, look, the people that posted that, they probably took advantage of it because it's going to be a viral moment, which it was. So, it is what it is with that. But at the end of the day, like, you can't speak to people that's been in the game for a long time and have that question. And to your point, even back in the day, right? Like before the internet, can you imagine somebody on the block? And it happened in mad places, right? Somebody will say something and everybody attack them, for lack of a better word. Like, what? You bugging out? What are you talking about?
Right.
No way. It happens. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, especially when we have those ciphers, when we have music discussions, and people these days, they'll come around and say, oh man, Jermaine was a better performer than Michael.
Wow. That's hard. That's hard.
But I mean, but it's funny because when we look at the modern day, if we're talking about the comparisons, everybody's looking at Drake and Kendrick. And the fact is, because I don't want to say anything that's going to offend either camp, even though I'm Team Kendrick all the way. We all are. But when you think about it, but that doesn't mean that Drake's success is not merited and it's not noteworthy. Both of them have achieved a lot. But 100%. I think Kendrick showed that when, just like in 2001, we had never heard Nas battle rap until Jay called him out. And then what happened? Nas went back at him, and Drake and Kendrick went back and forth, and then ultimately Kendrick dropped Not Like Us, and we were like, that was a kill shot right there, but everybody's still gonna say that, man. They always use these superficial and inconsequential metrics. Well, Drake got more money, or Drake got Drake got more streams.
They've been doing this since day one.
Yeah.
Say it again.
Yeah, they've been doing us since day one. They always use
The metrics
popularity
are
contest.
these superficial metrics to dictate, if that is automatically a qualifier for artistic advancement in terms of the advantage. And I'm like, no, the fact is, who's the better artist? And Kendrick is the better artist. We come from an era, Exes and King, where we didn't look at record sales. We looked at we didn't care. How many albums were great, but they were released by artists that didn't get the love they should have.
Yeah.
And they may have not necessarily been the most media let me rephrase that, not media, but commercially viable. Are we going to say Kool G Rap, who is my favorite MC of all time, are we going to say he's not a noteworthy and consequential and incredible and inspiring legend because his records didn't sell as much as Jay-Z? No, because when you look at Jay-Z, Nas, Biggie, and all them, Kool G Rap's DNA of rhyme artistry and excellence on the MC microphone, man, he runs through all those guys because he predated all those guys.
You could see Kool G Rap in Benny the Butcher. You could see, you know what I'm saying? You could see him.
Shout out to Benny, man. Great guy. Great guy.
You can see Kool G Rap influence on all those guys.
Yeah.
All those guys, you can see it. 100%. But this goes back to what we were saying earlier. Sometimes you got to do the knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Because just because, Kool G Rap didn't have critical acclaim, right? Nowadays, where they're like, oh, he didn't sell no albums. We wasn't concerned with that back in the day. You know what I'm saying? So like even now with the whole thing where they were like, there's no top 100 rap songs on Billboard. God damn it, good. We're glad. You know what that? You know what I'm saying? Because, go ahead.
No. But you were on a roll with it. But I was coming in because I agree with you so much. Because what this means is, it's a reset. It's a forced reset.
That's right. It's back to the drawing board. Yeah.
Because when we look at it, we've talked with many guests on and off air about this. We are all passionate about this. And we have said this hundreds of times on the shows throughout the years. Back in the day, you didn't rap if you didn't know how to do it.
Right.
Now what has happened with modern technology that it has enabled the elements of people to have creative expression on the microphone, where back in the day, and listen for all y'all out there who got to understand how this went back in the day, you had to put together a demo, you had to get it to the label, you had to hope that the label liked it, you had to hope they liked it enough that they were going to put money behind it. Then we're not even talking about the fact that you're trying to get a video shot and then actually get into the studio where you actually have to have the material. So that means you have to write more. So there was a lot of layers and tiers you had to go through and climb to actually put an album out. Hell, to just get a song out.
That was a journey right there.
Yep. Yeah.
And
100%.
now with the expedited process of microwave media, and we're not mad at it because through modern technology and media, we're able to do what we do. So we're not against it at all. But what has happened is it's given people a false sense of rhyme superiority, thinking their liquid swords are going to lacerate, when really all it is just a drought of non-lethal lines, period.
Yeah. And I believe that my bad. I mean,
go ahead, please.
No, I'm just saying that that's been happening for so long,
right?
And I think that's the side of the industry that people don't realize either, right? There was so much fabrication back in the day as well. You know what I'm saying? Of people these people they're on Billboard doing all this or whatever, but never got no respect. No disrespect to Will Smith. When Will Smith first came out, I was a fan when he first came out. You know what I'm saying? When he first came out, he was killing it. But when you get like a song like only in my that Miami, the Miami
Yeah,
song that he had, like
yeah.
that song, like to be like to be like, oh, this song is better than anything Jay-Z did. It's
Nah.
crazy. It's crazy.
And
You know what I'm
and it's
saying?
and it's crazy because when we watch the transition with Will Smith, because we do have to give him his props because he
Oh
was
yeah.
the first, because they were the great, he was the first rapper. Him and Jazzy Jeff, they were the first
Yep.
rappers, he DJ to win a Grammy. And they
And
won this
Jazzy Jeff
before.
still getting busy.
Man, look, I tell anybody, do not watch The Fresh Prince with him getting sunned by, Uncle
Right.
Phil, rest in peace, James Avery, and
Right.
underestimate this man's skills on the ones and twos with the
At
DJ
all.
Jiu-Jitsu. That dude,
Yeah.
Jazzy Jeff, is one of the greatest of all time.
100%. 100%. He's still rocking parties.
Yes, yes.
And he killing
Um,
them. If you get a chance, if anybody get a chance to see Jazzy Jeff do his thing, do not miss that. You know what I'm saying? Definitely.
Please go see
That's a
it.
master class.
I mean, oh God, Jeff Towns, an absolute legend. And to listen to his albums, The Magnificent Part 2, he is phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
When we think about Will Smith, because this is all discussion we're just having, when we think about where he was and how he started, when you think about songs like Brand New Funk, that was really dope. When you think about the lighthearted joints like, Parents Just Don't Understand, all of that. And then kind of when he begins to come more and more into, of course, The Fresh Prince, when he's on that really
Mm-hmm.
kind of brings more to profile his acting prowess. So now he's
Mm-hmm.
doing rapping and acting.
Mm-hmm.
And, it obviously gives him more exposure. So, of course, for those that know the history, Code Red, 1994, that was the last record that him and Jazz did before they broke up. And, of course, he would do Big Willie Style that was released in 1997. So this was really between, Getting Jiggy With It and Miami were two of the biggest songs. Also, too, for those that don't know, Nas also wrote for him on that album as well. That's not a
Yeah.
diss. That's not a slight. That's actual fact.
That's a fact. That is a fact.
But I said that to say about how when you have certain people, when they get that push, once they get into that, commercial lane of how their exposure is heightened. And what did we look at Will Smith as for so many years? He was the safe rapper. He was the one who was commercially viable, the friendly face, always smiling.
Mm-hmm.
He was, this is what mainstream found.
And
it's-
the build off there for a minute.
Mhm.
Do you guys see shifting the tide within the culture, man? Like, do you see the organic feel coming back within hip hop?
Say it again.
Do you guys see a shift going on within hip hop? Like, do you see that organic feel coming back?
Man. So when you say organic feel, you mean like the golden era type, you know what I'm saying? Type boom bap type sound?
Something like that.
I'm gonna tell you, as a DJ, right?
Mhm.
Here in Miami even, and a lot of places like, well, let me say this. Let me start off by saying this. Like a lot of younger people, right? Like those people that be wearing the purses and all that, like them younger guys, they don't really drink that much. Drinking is not their thing. You know what I'm saying? So like they smoke more than
Right.
anything. So the
Right.
the club sales, money wise, they actually losing money doing events for them. You know what I'm saying? For the younger crowd on the alcohol level. I say that to say this. There's, at least in my perception, and I could be wrong,
Right.
but I noticed that there's a lot more clubs, like venues. I would rather say not clubs, but venues, lounges, some clubs where they welcome that sound, that that golden era sound. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like that music, that demographic. We're older now. It's not like how it used to be where it was wild. There's hardly no fights at spots that play that kind of music. Everybody's grown. They just want to have a good time, have a drink. You know what I'm saying? And it could be lucrative for venues to have that. Now, with that portion being said, you think about what the most popping music is right now. I mean, I don't know about for y'all, but from my point of view, like, again, like, I love anytime Griselda drops something. You know what I'm saying?
We all are Griselda fans here.
Yeah, I love when Ransom drops something. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I like Flea Lord, like, you know,
Stove God.
Stove God. I love Stove God. He coming down here to Miami with Jay Electronica. Bro, all this kind of music, this is all that boom bap feel. It's all boom bap influence.
Yes.
And this, it's like this is what's popping right now. It just is what it is, which work out for us because, you know, we've been in this, you know what I'm saying? And we take advantage of it. Right for the
yeah, and you know, Exes, you're absolutely right, because when you think about where we came up in the era, and you came up in that era as well, so you know about the tunnel and all that back in the day.
Yeah, 100%.
But you know, but it's hilarious now because everybody from that generation are in their 50s and 60s now, in terms of when they were really outside. So nobody is really gun busting unless they really have to. Nobody's trying to fight. These are grandmothers, grandfathers, fathers, mothers. Yeah. So it's like the vibe is totally different. So when you think about it, you're not listening to Mobb Deep Shook Ones thinking you're going to shank somebody in the corner. You're listening to it because Havoc produced one of the greatest beats ever. You know, when we listen to songs, you know, like Coogee Rap's Road to the Riches, we're thinking about what it meant in that 88 golden era of trying to make it. When we think about Grand Puba doing, you know, what goes around, what comes around, you know, I mean, all those songs now have a different feel and a different meaning because of the nostalgia that is associated with it. You look back at it with pride, fondness, and an enjoyment of how simple it was back then within the music and the culture itself.
I love it, man. I love all of that. All of those songs that you mentioned, you know, they're definitely a part of my library when I'm spinning. You know what I'm saying? Like that. And I try to throw some newer stuff in it as well, because I don't want to be a hypocrite either. You know what I'm saying? Like, good music is good music. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I want to play it all. If it's dope, I want to play it. But you know, what's become big down here even is day parties, right? So I do a party with these guys. It's called the Belly Boys. How Can I Be Down? And we do a monthly party out here. We do one at this club called Chemistry, and then we do another one in Del Rey at this spot called Honey. And that junk is packed, and it's day parties. So we start at 2 o'clock and we end at 9 p.m. on a Sunday. Now that's grown folk business right there. You coming out, you know what I'm saying? Everybody got to work on Monday. So you home, let's say you stay and you shut the spot down. If you stay and you shut the spot down 9 o'clock, you home by 10 o'clock, the latest in bed, let's say by 11, you still got a good 8 hours of sleep, you know, maybe less depending how early you got to get up, but you can make it happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's so conducive to, you know, people from our era. I'm trying to avoid using words that, you know, make us look like
it's
old.
okay. No, it's okay. Nah, man. Look, look. That's part of the authenticity. Even if it's blunt or explicit, is what makes it excellent. We are never gonna restrict or censor our guests to say whatever they feel. That ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, but it's also very important though that we speak about ourselves a certain way when it comes to the culture. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So it's like when we talking about our music, words such as vintage, you know, very important. Words such as classic, you know, golden era. These are positive words, you know, they have a positive connotation. You know, when you say something like old school, right? Old school kind of give a different feeling and make it like this is old, it's played out. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Not to say people can't use that, but you know, me personally, I'm like, these, you know what I'm saying? These are the statements and the phrases that we use, you know what I'm saying, to bring people in so they can come see what it is. Because I feel like at the end of the day, we the missing demographic. You know what I'm saying? If you want to hear dope hip hop, you gotta fuck with people like us. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Because we still doing it. Like you could listen to Mobb Deep 100 times, you know all the songs. You could listen to Jay-Z 100 times, you know all the songs. You could listen to all these rappers 100 times. But now, what's they new shit? Like Nas still dropping new shit. You can learn new Nas shit. You know what I'm saying? You could, you know what I'm saying? And then there's other artists, other contemporaries that's still getting busy. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no rules anymore. There's no rules. That whole adage. Yeah, yo, that whole adage, that whole like it's a young man's game, that shit's out the window. That shit don't even mean shit no more.
Nigga, you was with it because I mean, and I gotta say this for the hometown heroes here in Hampton Roads, Virginia, because they had an interview, and shout out to the Clips, Malice and Push, two of the greatest guys I've had the pleasure to meet, and when they dropped their album last year, man, Let God Sort Them Out, they ended it for good in terms of ageism. And I'm going to introduce a new term for everybody to hear. And y'all know where it comes from when I say it. I call it flavor foundational. Because... Go ahead.
No, my bad. I was just going to speak on that album real quick because...
Yeah, go ahead. Please.
One of the things that they did that, again, it kind of like brought me closer to them as artists, but also made me want to, because you know the way it goes, right? Like whatever your first song is or whatever, you know, that's what's gonna bring the fan closer. Like, oh, I fuck with this song. Let me see what the next one is. Let me see what they talking about. Right. You know, I fuck with the Clips, obviously, on some DJ shit, on some MC shit. But man, that first song that they open up the album with, where they talking about their mom, bro, that was amazing to me. To me, that shut it down. I was like, holy shit! I'm gonna sit through this fucking album because just off that song alone, and the album just went up. Like it just kept going. Like that was a great fucking album.
One thing about it,
phenomenal work.
And I'm gonna be I'm gonna take a little bit of time to give the Clips their flowers here, because to see those guys go through 2 record deals, 1 shelved album, 5 years in between releases, damn near 20 before they did another album together again, and those who know the story know the story. To see Pusha carve out his lane as not only a prolific but elite MC, to see Malice go through his, you know, religious transformation and still maintain a pen as sharp as the thorns that they tried to crucify Jesus with, and he still arose in that resurrection, is something that needs to be studied. And it showed that age is not an impediment. It is the main ingredient, because the wisdom accumulates that gives your words that added depth, substance, and most importantly, resonance.
Speak on it. That's real shit you saying right there, bro. That's the realest shit ever, because when you young, you don't know what the fuck you talking about, respectfully. But you really don't. Right. When you're older, you know, when you're older and there's an album I got coming out, right? And in that
Talk
album,
about
I sample. No. I'm just saying. It kind of goes to what you're saying. But there's a sample on there where I kind of wanted to speak on that. So I got this guy who's an author. I forgot his name, but in the interview, they asked him, you know, do you feel like you're at a disadvantage because you started writing when you're older? And he was like, no, because he said that he feels like when you're young, when you write, your words are hollow because you have no experience behind them. There's no weight behind that pen. When you get older and the wisdom that you accumulate over time, when you put that into what you're writing, it has a whole different weight to it. It's just not the same. You know what I'm saying? So to your point, age is not an impediment at all. Especially not in hip hop.
It is an asset. And I tell anybody, it is an old proverb. I didn't write this, but I've always followed it. You know, enjoy being older. It is a privilege denied to many. It is a gift. The gifted age is a privilege because it's a privilege denied to many. And when you look at it from that perspective, Fonte of Little Brother, he did an interview some
Mm-hmm.
years ago, and he said you want to write things at 22 that you don't regret listening to at 32.
Ooh,
So depth
that's hard.
is I'm gonna send you. I'm gonna try to find that article. I'm gonna send that to you through the IG DM because that was a powerful interview he did. Just talking about the art and what it meant to him, and about how you want to make sure that your legacy is rooted with substance and care. It is
Mm,
about what you're passing on to the next generation. Um, when we are in this era, the age we came up in, I don't want to be too long-winded, but I'm passionate about this because I know what it means to all of us. When we think about the albums like the legendary Adventures of Slick Rick, when we think about
mm,
Ras Kass's Soul on Ice, when we think
mm-hmm,
about Ice Cube's Death Certificate, when we think about Biggie's Ready
mm.
to Die, when we think about Wu-Tang, Enter the 36 Chambers, when we think about, NWA's, Straight Outta Compton, when we think about Ice-T's Power, when we think about Salt and Pepper as Assault with a Deadly Pepper, when we think about all these albums, we think about Yo-Yo, Make Way for the Motherlode, we think
Yeah,
about
nah,
Lil
Mm.
Kim,
albums.
Hardcore.
Albums.
Yeah, these are albums that are not only classics, these are impactful art pieces that defined a culture. It
Yeah.
showed us what style, expression, storytelling, comedy, and real street shit is.
Hmm.
Yeah.
From so many different
100.
dimensions, from so many different coasts, from so many different perspectives, male and female, where you came from. And I guess when we talk about what we were saying, King and X, is about where hip hop is today and how none of those songs made the top 40 in terms of hip hop, what's happened is where the albums that are defining this generation from a meaningful perspective. We're seeing a lot of flash in the pan artists whose spark is burning out quicker than a flame being blown by the wind from the North Pole or just the wind in general. And it's gone just like that in a breeze.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Yeah, man. Like, yeah, that's a good way to bring that in. Like, what are you guys' real thoughts about hip hop not really charting for the first time in almost 30 years? Do you think that's a gateway for people to be creative again?
100%. But I also think that it's right, I guess the powers that be, with my quote air quotes, right?
We know,
Like
we know.
they need to shift their focus somewhere else, right? Because the music industry is on its ass right now, right?
Yeah,
Because look, back in the day, right? How he was saying, like, back in the day, you had to get a demo, turn it in, you had to do XYZ. Like, now, all of that can be done by the artist independently. You do that
yeah,
yourself.
yeah,
You could pay for your promo. If you're smart about it and you market yourself correctly, you could get more followers. If you engage with your followers, you could build a fan base. You know what I'm saying? People will buy your merchandise. They will buy your shit. So depending on how much you invest in yourself is how far you could go. You could travel places, you could do this, that, and the third. Like, I've seen people make a living off this shit. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, you look at it like that, like, hell yeah. I think this is dope. I love that there's nothing on the top 40. Cause it just shows me that they don't know what the fuck they looking at. They don't know where to find it. You know what I'm saying? They're looking for a certain sound and they're like, what happened here? But nobody's fucking with that kind of sound because it fizzled out. It wasn't going nowhere. And the culture as a whole, it appears, has turned its back on that kind of sound. You know what I'm saying? And they've gone more toward that golden era, you know what I'm saying, that vintage sound, you know what I'm saying, that the depth in writing, something that means something, I love that.
when we look at so many of those artists who are still putting out music today, and even some of the new schoolers, East and West Coast, when we look at people like RJ Payne, we had on the show, a
Super
couple of
dope.
years ago. Man, I mean,
Super
like,
dope.
man, when we think about dudes like Stove God, I mean, that
Super dope.
dude, he is. I mean, when we look at artists, even on the West Coast, to the legends like E40, still doing it at a high level. G Perico, what he's doing with his enterprise movement. When we think about Mitchie Slick, shout out to him in San Diego. I mean, it is so many artists that are older and who are independent and young and independent who understand what it means to get out there and to really, really present. When we look at artists like Lil Yachty, when we look at artists like A Boogie with a Hoodie, they had their time. They had songs that were moving, but the problem was for them, it was hard for them to kind of make that transition going further in terms of maintaining a musical longevity.
Yeah.
It's a novelty for a time, because I want to choose my words carefully here, because I'm not out to, nor are we as a collective out to diss anybody, because we know what it takes to get in, and let alone to endure and have longevity. But the thing is, you got to have music that is going to go. It can't stop in one place. It can't be stagnated. It has to flow through the years. And those are just
100%.
Yeah. When you think
Even
about,
though
Go ahead.
I will say
Please.
A Boogie with the Hoodie, he's talented though. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? He's very talented.
Right. And it's just about the music being so congested that even those with the talent, it's hard for them to maintain a lane, because you got so many people trying to come in. It's become a crowded house, and it's so much dropping at one time. We came out at a time where albums were spaced out. You may have now there were some years, probably between April 1994 and August of 1995 are probably the greatest year for releases. And for those that understand, this is what came out during that time, between the year. OC's Word Life, 1994. Nas' Illmatic,
Great album.
1994. Craig Mack's Project Funk the World, 1994. The first rap album released on Bad Boy. Not Biggie's Ready to Die, that will come later. And then we still go into 95. Dog Pound, Dog Food. The Above the Rim soundtrack came out in 94. Murder Was a Case soundtrack was 1994.
We also can't forget that my bad, not to cut your wisdom, but
go ahead.
We also can't forget during this time, the mixtape game was heavy.
Ron G, DJ Clue.
100%. Yes. Chill Will from the East Side, DJ Demo. You know what I'm saying? Like the SNS, like the list is endless. Juice from New Jersey, like the list is endless. Doo-Wop, 95 Live, Tony Touch, 50 MCs.
One of the greatest mixtapes ever. Yes.
So the quality of the music back then was insane. Mediocrity was just getting no love. You know what I'm saying? Like no mediocre shit.
I mean, and then of course, Liquid Swords, Jizza, 95, and of course the Purple Tape. August 1st, 1995, when Raekwon and them dropped it. And then you had the songs that had a chance to marinate with the listening audience. Raekwon, I think in May 95, when they started the promo run for Cuban Links, they had like 4 or 5 songs that they had between the underground and radio release. You had Incarcerated Scarfaces, you had a video for that, you had Criminology, you had Ice Cream, Heaven and Hell, which was on the Fresh soundtrack in 94. But
the Heaven and Hell remix was crazy.
Yes, it was.
That remix is crazy.
And then Can It Be Also? Yeah, Can It Be Also? No. I'm getting ahead of myself. But yeah, you get what I'm saying. But it was like you gave the songs a chance to find the audience, and for the audience to have a real reaction to it. So it wasn't
Pardon me.
oversaturation. Go ahead. Go
Pardon me.
ahead.
My bad. I got to make a correction. It
Go
was the
ahead.
Canon. It was the
Be
Canon Be
also
So
simple
Simple.
remix. Yeah.
Yes, that one. That remix is crazy. The Can It Be Also Simple? That's the remix right there. When I heard that one, that's the one that's on the first soundtrack. That I was like, what the fuck
Right.
is
Yeah.
this? They killed that
And
shit.
I mean, and you know, this is just a time where, you know, they understood. See, one thing about it that artists today have to understand, just because you get in fast doesn't mean, you know, you're gonna last. What it means is a slow, deliberate, calculated understanding of the market and how you deliver product that caters to that market. And it means having a promo run. It means having something legitimately substantial that gives it a chance to really reach the audience, to see how they really react to it. Because if you come in it, you know, you may be red hot, but then you flame out just as fast. Because where's the second,
Yeah.
you know, where's the follow-up?
Yeah, they got to digest it. That's actually very real. And man, you know what's crazy is like I had this conversation with one of my brothers about this. Like shout out to Orion because we always be in conversations with it. But like you have artists that, especially like Griselda, like in the beginning, like they were dropping joints back to back, like Conway, Benny, you know what I'm saying, West Side, they were dropping joints back to back. They had their foot on everybody's neck. Nobody could breathe at that time, you
Right.
know. But that no diss to them, you know, because they were able to do it. But that's not a sustainable model for everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like you to your point, you got to be able to put something out. The people need to digest it, but you also cannot be too slow to drop your follow-up because it's not like how it was back in the day where you could drop one album a year. You can't do that anymore. And not if you want to stay relevant. You know what I'm saying?
But it's crazy back then though, Exes, because when you think about in that era of the 90s, Ice Cube had a championship run with 4 straight albums from 1990 to 94. I mean, and that was unbelievable. That's still to me one of the greatest album runs I've ever seen. You know,
we was talking about him today. We was talking about Ice Cube today too, man.
That's like the Chicago Bulls dynasty run right
there.
Yeah. No, 100%. He dropped one a year, one every year. That's what he did.
He dropped America's Most Wanted dropped in 1990. Death Certificate dropped in 92. The Predator dropped in 1993. And Lethal Injection dropped in 94.
Do you remember back in the day?
No, Predator was 92. Predator was 92 and Lethal Injection was 93.
But look how short-sighted we were back in the day, right? Like we would say a freshman release, a sophomore attempt. You know what I'm saying? You know, like we would look at hip hop like it's a 4-album shelf life, you know? But then you get artists like, you know, Ice Cube, who goes on a run like that and still keeps going. And it's like, man, this hip hop shit is not done by a long time.
Look at what Nas did going back 5-6 years ago with what he did with Hit Boy. He dropped 6 albums in 3 years.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie to you. And I've had this conversation with various people. To me, King's Disease 3 is probably his best body of work in so long. And that's even taken into consideration Magic and all them other ones. King's Disease 3, to me, that album is damn near a classic. It don't really got no skips on it.
I mean, when you think about Nas's discography, and we're all Nas fans here.
100.
You know,
100%.
I've never been the one to, because Nas has always been criticized for his beats. I say fuck that criticism with my whole chest and my Jordans out in the process, because, you know, stepping on the criticisms, because Nas's rhyming was never about the beats overshining. It was about understanding what that man was saying, you know. And when you think about some of the lyrics that Nas has given us over the years, you know, I mean, you know, I wear chains that excite the feds, and I'm a Nike head. I wear chains that excite the feds. I
Hmm.
mean,
No,
you
listen,
know,
listen. I'm a Nas fan. If you can't tell by my music,
mm-hmm,
my pen is heavily influenced by Nas.
mm-hmm.
I even got a one of the songs on the album. As a matter of fact, is you remember Nas song that I Gave You Power.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Wait, so the one that I dropped the video for, the material things, it's like part two to that song. You know what I'm saying? It's if you listen to that song in the beginning, that's why I put at the beginning of that song you hear Nas. Now I'm happy until I felt somebody else grab me. You know what I'm saying? So
mm,
that song, remember at the end of that song, the gun falls because he jammed, right? And he got
right.
shot. And so he's like, I know they waiting in hell for him. And he's like, now I'm happy. So my song Material Things is meant to pick up right there when the guy picked up the gun. This is the, you know what I'm saying? I brought him back to this crib, but I'm a pair of sneakers though. Like my perspective on that one is I'm telling it from the perspective of a pair of sneakers in the crib. You know what I'm saying?
That's
Like something
dope.
like, bro, like I'm a super Nas fan, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like again, going back to Cool G Rap as well, man. Super Cool G Rap fan as well, man. Like and all those dudes, like just the way they write, man. That like if you are MC and you don't study Nas pen, bro, like what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Like that should be required like learning. You know what I'm saying?
I'm
Required
gonna tell
reading.
you. I'm gonna tell you. When you think about Nas, I Gave You Power, we also have to give the credit to where the template was laid.
Organized
Organized
confusion.
Confusion, The Stray
Mm.
Bullet, Stress, The Extinction Agenda, back released in
Mm.
1994.
Another dope remix, man. That stress remix is fire, and people don't know about that. It's on the side B of the vinyl. You got to be a DJ to know that, or be a
Man,
music head.
shout out to Prince Poe and Pharoah
Oof.
Monch, two of the
Big
greatest
shout out to
ever to
Farrah
do
Munch.
it.
Farrah
Man,
Munch is that dude, bro. Farrah Munch is that
absolutely.
dude. Anything he
I mean,
touches, and he another one who's dope with the pen. You got to study him. That man, you remember War Games? Uh,
man,
Yeah.
I declare War Games. That
war.
beat, boom, 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 boom. Was that Primo on that beat? I think that
I
might have
think it
even
might
been
have
Primo on that
been
beat. Woo.
Primo. I mean, we think about Primo, he's worked with so many people over the years. Um, And one thing about it, when we look at it from the perspective of culture and impact, it's great to see artists who transition to the second act. Once again, we're
Mm.
gonna stay in Nas. Shout out to what him and Premier have done with Mass Appeal Records
Yeah,
and how they have opened that gate up for so many artists from that golden era, from the 80s and 90s, to come in. Basically, they've given an open invitation. Come on over to us if you want to get a product out.
yeah,
We'll
hell
give.
yeah,
I mean, yeah, and it shows that means of giving back in terms of understanding that this is how we preserve culture. This is how we maintain tradition. This is how we uplift our community of a hip hop village.
mm. Hell yeah.
Now,
The
now
album.
going on, I was gonna say,
That
we talking about albums, man. Going to your album, man. How are the people who already supported you receiving this album? Like, how did this differ from the previous?
man. So the previous album I did was actually a Spanglish album, right? It was me, DJ Heron, and my man Combinando Music. So that one I was in a certain lane with this one. This like it's still boom bap, but it was more Spanglish. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
This one just straight English. So I know when people heard it, I, you know what I'm saying? As far like it depends. Like if you didn't know me and you thought this was gonna be Spanglish, then the expectation definitely shifted. But I wanted to show people I could get busy with both. You know what I'm saying? It's not a gimmick. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm not. I don't need the rap in Spanish to be nice. You know what I'm saying? I'm nice regardless. You know what I'm saying? So as far as this one goes, I feel like it definitely caught a few people off guard, especially like with the beat selection and everything, because it's heavy boom bap. You know what I'm saying? Very heavy boom bap. But that's my roots. So that's how I feel.
Absolutely. And when you look at the Miami scene in general, Exes, um, we've been blessed to connect with a lot of people out there. Shout out to Nick Garcia, Trop Da Vinci,
Mm,
of course, with MMG. Great guys. Uh, Luxury Curb. He's a guy who helps artists in terms of understanding the business and getting their royalty monies. And of course, DJ Riri. Shout out to her as
no
well.
doubt. Yeah, she doing
Um,
her thing for the ladies, 100%.
yes, she
Not only
is.
for the ladies, but as a DJ, she doing her thing. Much respect to her and the whole the Mix Her collective, the thing that she put together, man, super dope.
Man,
Um,
look.
on the underground hip hop tip, also like from Miami, you got artists like Money Mowgli, you know what I'm saying? Watch
Hmm.
Wolves, you got Shoddy, you know what I'm saying? And his producer, Tev 95, you know what I'm saying? You got a lot of artists, like underground artists that's really like moving things in Miami that they might not be on the radar for most people. Because the thing is, when you look at Miami from the outside, you only see what's on the surface. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
like it's easy to only see a Rick Ross, you know what I'm saying, or a Khaled, you know what I'm saying, or the people that's coming up behind them, you know what I'm saying, like Gunplay, salute the Gunplay, you know what I mean? But like it's crazy because it gets even deeper, you know what I'm saying? Like there's really really dope hip hop. Orion, you know what I'm saying? Dropped the album, you know what I'm saying, with Chronos. Big up to him, you know what I'm saying? Like it's so many dope like artists, Choco Valens, bro. I can't even if I sit here and start to name them all, we're gonna be here forever. But just know that Miami is very heavy with the hip hop movement, and especially with the boom bap shit. And like I don't want to say boom bap because I don't want to like pigeonhole it, you know what I'm saying? But like
Right.
it, it's in that vein, you know what I'm saying? It's hip hop shit, you know?
But it also too, and we can't mention Miami without mentioning, some of the veterans like DJ Jam Pony, Gucci Crew,
Oh
you
yeah, no
know,
question.
and of course the one and only Two Live Crew. Shout out to
Two Live
Luke,
Crew.
man.
Yeah.
Rest in peace to
Brother
brother
Marquis.
Marquise and Free and Fresh
Yep.
Kid Ice.
And Fresh Kid
Man,
Ice. Yep. Legends,
yes,
man. Legends, you know what I'm
yes,
saying? JT Money. You know what I'm saying?
man.
Like these are
Poison Clan.
pioneers. Poison Clan. Pioneers, bro. Pioneers, bro.
I mean, even Trick Daddy. When he was on the Scar joint
Yep.
with Luke back in the day.
Yep. Even
So
Trick Daddy, man.
um to see Miami hip hop over the years grow and flourish, how does it feel from you being there now and just watching everybody um really grow their movement organically?
Man, I love it because for a time, when I was younger, when I was living here before I went back up top, like it was a crabs in the bucket mentality. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Where it's like, oh, somebody, oh, I live in this neighborhood. This guy, I live in Kendall. This other guy lives in North Miami Beach. I don't like them, or vice versa. Or Hialeah, I don't like them. You know what I'm saying? But it's different. It's shifted. We're in a place now where everybody's showing each other love and supporting each other. You know what I'm saying? Like it's still little, beefs here and there type shit, but it's it's gotten to the point where like the support is big. Like people, you could go to parties in any one of these neighborhoods and you be okay. Doesn't matter where you're from. You know what I'm saying? There's no crazy beef or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's all good. It's all love. You know what I'm saying? And it's very welcoming to outsiders. Back in the day, if you was not from here, they would show you no love. If you was not from Miami and you tried to rock at one of these Miami spots, you will get no love. That's not the case now. You know what I'm saying? Miami's opened up to so many people. You gotta love it. I love seeing it, man. I think it's a great time to be alive.
Now, as an elder in terms of your stature in the game, and especially being with a crew that carries so much respect and recognition, we also have to talk about as well in Florida what has happened with a lot of the beef rap going on and people getting killed behind it. What do young people have to understand about what this means from a street level when you get out there talking about people on wax and the consequences of doing that?
Man, I would tell people that not everybody wants to write angry poems to another man. Like, not everybody with that rap shit. You know what I'm saying? Think about that.
Right,
That's real.
right,
I don't mean to make it
right,
sound like that, but that's what you're doing. You ranting
right.
angry poems about another man, and not everybody with that shit. You know, look, I I don't promote violence or no shit like that. But not everybody with you talking about their moms or their kids or their girls. Like some people really, really take that shit to the heart. And you have to be prepared if you open that door up to what it could lead to. So therefore, don't fuck with it. Don't do that. For what? You know what I'm
You
saying?
know,
Not everybody trying to play games.
and I think that's what's going on Texas when we look at what's happening because everybody's looking for that viral to say, yeah, I son this nigga out there. We from old school. You from Jersey. I was born in Norfolk. King is from Harlem. We
You already
understand what
know.
it we already know what it means when you get out there, you talking about another man, you know,
Yeah,
and
a
you and
hundred
you and
percent.
you and you know, and I'm only using this as that. We look at Fulio. Look at what Fulio did talking about the dead ops and they homies. And I'm like, you know, it was just when they
Yeah,
slid on him, it was a matter of time. He kept
you
playing out there.
inviting you inviting death. You're inviting death. And the thing is, it's on us, right, as elder statesmen, to speak to the youth, to just tell them no good can come from this. And you're not ready for what's gonna come behind it. You know what I'm saying? Most older people that made it to this age, right, and older, right, uh, we've seen violence in our life. And if you've
Yeah.
seen real violence and you've experienced it, you reach a certain age where you don't want to experience that, man. Nobody wants that. You don't want to see that. You don't want that around that. You don't want that for your people, for your loved ones. Like that's not what you want. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like people sometimes, they write checks that their ass can't cash. You know what I'm saying?
When you're looking at the elements of where conflict comes in, and a lot of times it's either jealousy or perceived slight. Both are cheap emotions that have expensive consequences in the cost of casualties.
Mm, agreed. But a lot, I think, to add to what you're saying, right? Like
Hmm.
you really have to have a good self awareness of who you are. You need
Absolutely,
to you
absolutely.
need to you need to check yourself sometimes because you might be bugging. You might be, and you need good friends around you that's not scared to tell you the truth. You know what I'm saying? You can't be with everybody. Like again, you can't be in the echo chamber where everybody just yes manning you to death. You know what I'm saying? You need those friends around you that be like, no, 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 no. I think you bugging out. I think you bugging out.
Shout out to Spirit Wonder who
Yeah.
had a great comment where he said, Fulio was doing too much. And when you start getting out there, and this is not just from music, this is just in life in general. I'm
Mhm.
from the country, and when we hear that dog bark a little bit too much and he making too much noise, they put that dog down.
Mm.
So that's something where, people got to understand that, like you said, Exes, everybody out there wants to be recognized for their skill on the mic, whether we say boom bap or whether it's trap or whatever. But one
Mhm.
thing about it is nobody raps out there to be disrespected by somebody else, especially when it's flagrant, blatant, and outright intentional. You know,
Facts.
we can have battles on wax, but when you start making personal threats, when you start talking about people close to me, it's an issue.
It's a plot.
And we've
Yeah.
seen we've seen too many countless stories, and we don't endorse violence at all at Off the Cuff ever. But we've seen a lot of
Man.
people who caught that hot one because they put too much out there. And I'm like, you got what you asked for. And guess what? You're not getting up from what you got.
Yeah.
Hey, you
And you
know
gotta
what?
understand.
We gonna you know what? The probably end the show on that note because we almost running out of time. I will say this: we are advocates for revenge, retaliation, and get back in self-defense.
Yeah, no, yo, it's real because you gotta be. You can only control what you do. You can't control the
Right.
next man's reaction to what you did. So you gotta think about what you do before you do it because you may not be ready for what's coming.
The consequences, you may put it out there, but you have no control over the consequences once it spins out there. So I tell people, just be respectful. And from there, that's how we manage. the thing about it is we always want to highlight the positives and the enhancements of the culture. You know, this is something that has given a lot of people a life of luxury and privilege. It's gotten people out of the hood. It's given generational wealth. You know, it's a hustle when used properly in the right way. And when you think about your time in it, coming from Jersey to ultimately be where you are now, Exes, what does it mean to you to have accomplished so much and are still striving and thriving?
Man, I'm just thankful, man, to have been able to, you know, witness all these changes in the music, you know, and what we grew up with, right? And still be
Hmm.
around and be able to give input, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, look, my motto is I just want to do dope shit with dope people, you know what I'm saying? So
Mm.
I've been very lucky in that regard. And as far as what it means to me, man, I'm just grateful. You know, I'm grateful to have the opportunity, you know, to be here on the show with y'all. You know, to be able to put new music out. You know, to continue to record, to continue to work on new items, to continue to work with more people and grow. The growth is very important for me. Evolution, you know, very important for me. I don't like being. I'm a Gemini. I get bored quick. I don't like to be stuck in one, you know, in one place. I like to move. So, you know, I'm just thankful for where I'm at, you know, and grateful for the opportunities that I've had to be able to share the thoughts that are in my head with the rest of the listeners.
Man, we appreciate it. Will you be putting out will there be physical copies of your project as well?
Yeah, we're looking into pressing up some vinyls. That'll be coming soon.
And we got to ask you this because some people say digital is the way, but vinyls have been making a strong comeback over the past 5, 6 years. What is your opinion of physical copies in terms of records being put out?
Oh no, physical copies is important because people to just buy it on some memorabilia shit, just to be able to own a piece of you. It's merchandise. Can't really look at it like, oh, I'm gonna do this like album sales because guess what? None of us have a big company behind us to push us. So as an independent artist, if you invest a little bit of money, you know what I'm saying, and you study the trends, you can cop some vinyls. You know what I'm saying? You could sell the vinyls off at your shows. People are gonna come cop the vinyls off of you. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't even matter if they got record players or not. You could put the vinyl up on a frame and hang it up. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it means to people at the end of the day. It's about what you could do with your work and how you can get it out there to more people. You know what I'm saying? That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah,
Right.
and also tell people too, watch those streamers and how they kick copyrights and all that. People, these sample clearances and all that, and people's albums get took down. Grab it in physicals. That way, hey, you got it forever.
Not only that, but that's actually a good thing to keep in mind too, right? When you're making music, as far as your samples go, you got to be careful because how you said it could get taken down. You know what I'm saying? But them physicals will never go away. So definitely invest in some physicals. Get you some merchandise. Get some shirts. You know what I'm saying? Gabbling the Guillotine shirt's gonna be out soon. You know what I'm saying? All of that merch will be available shortly. You know what I'm saying? Just stay tuned.
Absolutely, absolutely. From
But
there,
yeah, man, we want to
yeah,
go ahead and all wrap it up, man. It's been a dope bill with you, man. You can let people know where they can find you on social media.
100%, man. My name is DJ EXES number one on all social platforms, on all your platforms. You know what I'm saying? You want to hit me up, you want to send me an email at DJEXES, the number one at gmail.com. And again, DJEXES1 everywhere. The Gavel and the Guillotine album out now, streaming on all digital platforms. Go ahead and pick that up. You want to collab, you want to work on something, hit me up. Let's work, man. My studio's open round the clock. Fast turnaround times. You need scratches, whatever you need, holla at the kid.
No
absolutely.
doubt.
Thank you
So
so
yeah, we
much
about to
again for
come at
joining
y'all next
us.
week.
Look, same off the cuff time, same off the cuff channel. DJ X is
Sir, man.
thank you so much again,
Big
X's. We
shout out to our
appreciate you.
man Jay
Thank
for
you.
setting up this interview.
Yo, thank y'all, man. I appreciate y'all for letting me rock on here with y'all, man. Salute, man. 2L to
Absolutely.
All
everybody
right.
out there.
You're
From the
welcome
founders
back
to the future.
anytime.
Thank you,
Absolutely. You're
my
welcome back
brothers.
anytime. Yes. All right, King, take
So
us out of here.
on that note, we up out here. Catch us the same off the cuff time, same off the cuff radio channel. You heard?
Yep. Peace.